So, hey, thank you so much, Christy and Mary, for getting on. It's very smart of you guys to get on this call this Monday night, DIQ Zoom. Only because, you never arrive, just so you guys know that. A title is awesome, but you never arrive. You constantly need to be in a state of learning and organizing your life and organizing so that you are programmed to get on this call is very smart. This call is not going to go away. We're always going to have DIQs, and we are going to be looking to you as trainers on this call. So this is good. I know.
I'm doing my first training tonight on our team one, so it'll be interesting.
That's awesome, Christy.
Look how pretty she looks. She rewarded herself by getting her hair done. And she
I was thinking when I got on the call, Christy looks really pretty. Awesome. Yeah. So am I dark? Am I too dark? I forgot to put my light up. Oh well.
You're fine.
It's fine. It's fine. You notice how, just seriously look at Ellen and how bright. That's from a light.
And so it's actually a lamp that I have, and I actually turn the lamp so it faces my face instead of the desk when I'm in here. I have a ring light for elsewhere, but I have this for in here.
Awesome. See, it's one of these ring lights.
Mm-hmm.
It was in my bag because I took it with me on my road trip so that I could have it when I was at Atlanta. I did not expect to be gone for 2 weeks.
I know. Does it feel good to be back home? I'm sure.
It feels so good. I'm so happy.
Did your doggy go nuts?
Oh, she sure did. She was so pumped and excited to see her mommy. It's for sure. Both doggies were very, very excited. Very excited. So how are you feeling, Carrie?
You're muted, girl.
Pretty good. I'm pretty good. I'm so happy to see that you're home.
Yes, we are home and well. So we'll have to talk offline, Carrie, just seeing where you're at with this COVID thing.
For sure. For sure. I'd like that.
Everybody wants to hear about COVID. It's awful.
So,
it's awful.
we've already got our first experience of being blackballed today in the neighborhood, so that was nice.
Oh, awesome. Actually, when you are done with your quarantine time, you're probably safer than anybody else in the neighborhood.
Yes, we are done as of yesterday. So
yeah, same here. Yesterday was our last day. So
yes, mine too. Yesterday. Yep.
Yeah. Boy, we got it at the same time, girl.
I know we did. I think yes.
No offense, but I don't want to be twinning with either of you on that issue.
Definitely don't.
And keep it.
And we don't.
No, yes, definitely don't want to be there.
No.
I'm trying to get my light to work, you guys. I wanted to show this to you. Because I think somebody said they're going to train Christy or somebody. Your lighting is beautiful, but we got this light and the little thing that holds my phone for like $20 on Amazon.
I know.
I saw that always that pretty glow on Ellen's faces, and I was like, I need that. And same with yours, Pam.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Hey.
Oh, he doesn't have it on.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, and then there was light.
Wow.
That was kind of bright. But this is good for when you do your Facebook parties and you don't have makeup on.
Exactly.
Actually, it really does give you such good lighting. Makeup is obviously always a bonus, but you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes. Doesn't she? I've got a big screen and my regular screen. And my big screen, you're really supermodel.
Work it, girl. Work it.
Yeah. Hi, Lydia. How are you, doll? Pretty good? All right. All right. So I wanted to just touch base with you and see if anybody has any questions for us tonight on your DIQ. On your totals that need to come in. Anybody have questions about your trip that you'll be going into, your wild trip? That was released today on the new wild trip. So you can see those new wild trip options, Disney, Hawaii, $2,000 bonus, or the diamond ring. There's just several options. It's like 8 or 10 different options. So everybody gets happy. There's a choice there for everybody. Mary, you're in, and Christy, you're in your wows already. Your wow screen should show up, and you can never have any month less than 7,500 to stay in the wow program.
Okay.
And yes, and obviously, like we have had just recently, several of our girls have taken giant steps and done the WOW trip. And Angela Keaton did the WOW trip in 3 months. And no, maybe it was 4 months. Yeah, it was 4 months. And then we had little Kelly do it in 2.5. So it's a 6-month program, and it's a total of 60,000. And you need to have 4 managers in title. And so, you know, in order to step up to be a director, you have to have 2 managers paid as the month you come out. And in order to do the WOW program, you need 4 in title, and it can be any one of the 6 months. And you just have to have at least 4 of them, all titled manager at the same time. And so it doesn't, they don't have to be paid. You could have 4 brand new managers, which would all be paid, or you can have, you know, 1 paid as and 3 just titled and missed their payment that month, but you did have 4 in 1 month. Okay. Anybody?
Now, does the DIQ program, does that roll into that, or?
No,
No.
you start over
Okay,
as a
it's a
brand new. So
Okay.
anything that you had back there, the only thing that will count for, if you did 12.5 your last month, or even your last 2 months, it does help you qualify to go into the Rogue. So you go into the company car. Now, when we say car qualified, that means you're taking either the car cash or you're choosing the car. Either way is fine. And so there are some people that just love the car. And then other people just want the car cash. I just want to warn you that there are naysayers out there that will tell you not to take the car. And I want you to know that's thinking small. You need to think bigger than that. And 12.5 is not a problem. And all you do is break it down into $500 increments and figure out how many parties you need each month for your team and who you can count on for submitting. Maybe this girl's always good for 1,000. This girl's always good for 1,500, and how many more people you need on your team. And so everything can be broken down into bite-sized pieces all the time. And don't listen to other people that, I call them frenemies. They're really not being your friend if they're discouraging you from stretching out of your comfort zone. And so be careful when you hear that. I want you to hear Pam say, frenemy, okay? And sometimes you want to keep your you know, your friends close and your frenemies closer, because
For sure.
you just want to be very careful. And they don't always realize themselves that they're you know, they're not being your friend. Sometimes they think they are being your friend, and it's really not. It's not. You know, you need to rise above that, and you always go back to your comfort zone of people you know got your back. All right. And lip service is not what I'm giving you. I'm telling you from experience. When I moved into my company car, I never looked back. When Ellen moved into her company car, she was as new and green as you are, Mary, and she never looked back.
No.
So you've got to make the decision that that is who you're going to be. Okay.
Oh, I'm going for it.
Okay. And Christy and Carrie and Amanda, you just got to decide, this is who I'm going to be, and I'm not going to look back, and I'm going to continue to grow. And, you know, I didn't say it was easy. I just said I never looked back. Okay, I went for whatever. I was going to do whatever it took to make it happen. And I'm telling you, I made myself list. I figured out my goals. I divided it by 500. Even back then, it was a 500 divide. And I would hit the pavement. And by hitting the pavement, I mean, In today's world, then I got on the phone and I dialed.
Mhm.
Now, in today's world, you're messaging, you're texting, you're calling. All of the stuff that makes a success happen is the connecting. And it was connecting then, and it's connecting now. It's connecting. All right.
Mhm.
Building friendship, building loyalty, building camaraderie, building that atmosphere that you would like to be part of. Okay. So you know what you liked about being part of, you know, right now, Carrie, you know what you love about being on Ellen's personal team. That's what you're going to create on your team. You never have to leave the Ellen's organization, but you want to create that, you know, and you're so good at this, create that fun, that energy, that got your back attitude. You know, you want to create that so that your people on your team enjoy the same that you've enjoyed. And the leadership, the mentoring, that all comes from completely communicating. And you know, I will tell you that several of the girls have messenger groups that they're part of with their team, and several of the girls have Facebook groups. And you know, you just decide what works for you, for your group. For instance, what works for Lydia's group might be totally different than what's going to work for Christy's group. And so it depends on who you're bringing into the business, what they're already comfortable with, and you cater to them, but you don't. You cater to what's good for you, and you teach them what's good for them. Okay. And so I don't want you learning something brand new that you've never done before just because you think that that's what they need. I do want you to always learn, but stay in your comfort zone for technology, what's comfortable for you, and get them engaged in where you're at. And, you know, I like, for instance, Facebook. I mean, I highly recommend, you know, if that's your best, to stay there. But if you could do Messenger, there's especially, you know, Messenger, everybody gets. Where Facebook, they have to go to the Facebook page and they have to see it, because it doesn't necessarily going to show up in their feed. And so that's the disadvantage of Facebook, where you've got smaller teams. You could have a huge advantage for working with Messenger, because everybody hears a message come into their phone. Everybody looks at it. You know, it's like text messaging and Messenger. They're very well seen. But they're not nearly as, you know, so doesn't mean you don't do both. You might do both, but you figure out what's best for you and run it. All right. And so anybody have any questions on any of,
I have a comment on that same vein. Could you actually have Jenny share? Sorry, Jenny. Could you have Jenny share about how she has created that interaction on her team, and just kind of where that stemmed from, and just sort of the vibe that she has going on her team, because it is really strong right now. If she told them to go stand in the street in their underwear for a challenge, they would right now. I'm telling you, they love her. And so, but her and I were talking about it this morning on her coaching call, and she kind of traced it back and said, I think it all started here. So Jenny, would you mind sharing with everybody about that?
Yeah, but before you share that, I want to remind you that Jenny, like a year ago,
yeah, exactly a year ago,
yeah, was not even a director. Okay. She had completely fallen out, and she picked herself up from the bootstraps, and she changed her world. She really did. And in doing so, she had some people that were on her team that were, oh my goodness.
They were energy vampires, ladies, on our book club.
They were frenemies for sure.
Book club ladies.
Yes, and they were just absolutely, you know, there are some people that just want to rain on your parade, and they just don't want you to be successful, and they don't do you any favors. So definitely. So Jenny, go.
Oh, okay. So I was telling Ellen this morning that people like to feel important, and it really isn't anything you have to do that's that huge. But I think my team really started to get back involved, because right before birthday month started, I sent everybody on my team, active, inactive, everybody a birthday card. And there wasn't even anything in it. It just said, you know, I really enjoyed this Tupperware journey with you. I love having you on my team. And this is birthday month. Let's make it the best month ever. And then at the top of the card on the other side, I put, here's a personal challenge for you. If you want to play, let me know. And I got all kinds of responses back from that. And it's just kind of gone from there. This month, our challenge is a mission, I'm possible. And they voted on that. I put that out the last month of July, and I was like, what do you guys want to do next month? And I knew what I wanted to do, but I went ahead and let them vote, and they picked the right one, bless them. So, but then the other thing that I asked them to do over the weekend, Friday, I said, this is what you guys voted on. So everybody tell me what your mission is for this month. And I've had 15 people get back with me with, this is what I want this month. A year ago, I wouldn't have had 15 people even talking to me. I mean, they would have been like, oh, there she goes again, you know, and it's just, it's personal interaction. And I don't have, my team does not like the messenger group as a whole, but that was a few months ago, and there's a lot of new people on the team now. So I have private messenger groups with my managers people, so that if they need a private challenge just for their little manager thing to step up or something like that, they have private messenger groups just within the manager teams. So that's been fun too. And on my team page, I post the goals for like each manager team, so that they all have something to, it's not just like one big, we need 12.5 or we need $15,000. It's like, hey, you know, Melissa's, and I call them tribes because it's just more fun than units and whatever. So I'll be like, Melissa's tribe needs $8,000 to hit their star manager, or, you know, their DIQ numbers, and who's in to help her and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just what's going on there. It's just a lot of personal interaction, which luckily we have plenty of time for that right now. So.
So, you know, something that you didn't share, Jenny, and it reminds me of a promotion that Pam talked about when I was kind of up and coming, and she talked about her Lucky Ducky Pucky, right? And so there was like a grid, and there was a grid, and they got a chicken, and people bet on squares as to which square the chicken would poop on, right? And they were all about it, man. They were so excited. And that was just one of the many promotions that she just kind of shared with me over the years of something she did as she was kind of like growing her unit and doing things like that. And so Jenny's promotion that she did towards the end of, I think, June, right?
Yeah.
So tell them about that promotion really quick, Jenny.
My daughter had sent me a picture of her dog, and it's a huge dog. What is that thing? It's a Newfoundland, I think.
Yeah,
it's cute.
dog.
It's a giant dog. Well, they had it outside, and they had a purple sweatshirt on it. And it's a boy dog. His name is Mark. So when she sent me the picture, it just kind of cracked me up. And I put it on my team page and went, this poor baby needs a new sweatshirt. If we get to this amount by Friday night, I will buy him a new sweatshirt. And they went, I mean, they were like
all over it.
They wanted to know how much more we needed. Could we vote on the sweatshirt? What kind of sweatshirt are you sending the dog? So the dog got a new sweatshirt, and it's orange, and it's very nice. And it was $11.99 on Amazon. So don't think I bought the dog a $70 sweatshirt. That wasn't happening. But they waited for the picture. So I told my daughter, I said, when you get that sweatshirt, put it on the dog and take a picture. And she did. And they were thrilled. They were. Now my grandkids wanted to know when they got their sweatshirts, because if I was going to buy sweatshirts for the dog, for the grand dogs, I should buy them for the grandkids too. But that's another promotion.
Sometimes it's the stupidest promotions that get the biggest attention and really create that energy and fun. So
thank you
Lucky
for sharing,
Ducky
Jenny.
Pucky.
That's bad.
I know.
Lucky Ducky Pucky was something I did with my team, and it was hysterical. And yeah, it was. I sent them during the month when we were working on the Lucky Ducky Pucky. I sent them raisins in the mail, not in a box, just right in an envelope.
Oh, look, it's Ducky Pucky.
Yeah.
Ooh, yay.
Yeah, and they had little yellow ducks they had to take to all their parties back then. You know, obviously it was before COVID, but way before COVID, and they had to take these little yellow ducks. And then of course I sent them cards with ducks on them and stuff like that during the promotion month. So yeah, just silly. One time I had them. One time my team got to earn peanuts to feed the elephants at the zoo, and we all went to the zoo, and they were working for peanuts, and that was hysterical. And then other times I've done promotions where I would take them out to eat after a particular event, and they had to earn their food. So they had to earn their beverage. And the first thing they got was they got a napkin for showing up. And then they had to earn their beverage, and then they had to earn their main course and their dessert and everything like that. And so different things helped them earn different. And it was just, you know, just fun, because they were like working, oh, I got my steak, or I got my hot dog, you know. I'm up to a hot dog, yes. I'm up to a cheeseburger. And so, you know, and so they could, but the highest sales got a steak, and then they ended up getting dessert. And so silly, fun, crazy, but it was just comical, all of them. So think of something fun for your team that it doesn't need to cost you money. I'm telling you. Lucky Ducky Pucky. It was not expensive, all right?
It's just the hassle of finding the ducky.
Yeah, it was. And then finding a duck I could borrow and not buy. I don't want a duck.
Christy shared in the chat, she said, I'm going to play hot potato each time somebody gets a sale. They comment hot potato, and whoever is the last one to get the hot potato wins a prize. That's cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's fun and silly.
It just came to me when you guys were talking like that. I'm like, oh, I got to write that down.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's super cute. Super cute. Okay. Hi, Eric. Or was that Eric?
I don't know who just, it may have been Ella.
I think it was Ella. Pretty
Yeah.
Ella. All right. All right. So we want to talk to you about lack of organization, because it will sabotage your business. Okay. And so I just want you to know that there are easy ways to get organized. And in saying that, it's really necessary to look at your time robbers in your business, and also organize your business, and so that you can get rid of time robbers. And so step by step, we've got 7 lucky steps for you to write down. And so the first one is going to be covered by Ellen. And yeah, did you get my text?
I got it. I'm all over this.
Okay.
I am. I really am. I'm not being silly. I actually.
Okay. Well, you know, here's the thing, girls. We don't want you stressed, and lack of organization causes stress. It makes you feel hectic, and you don't need that. And so doing the little things can help that go away. All right, Ellen, number 1.
Absolutely. So number 1 is set definite goals, whether by day, the week, the month, or the year. Clearly define your objectives. Clearly defining your objectives will help you maintain focus on the purpose of your efforts. All right. So something that I do every single month at the beginning of the month is I take a postcard and I write down 2019 sales, and I have them broken down to weeks 1 through weeks 5, because there were 5 weeks last, August. And so then I have them, but I have them broken down in team sales, team recruiting, org sales, and org recruiting. But then at the bottom, I have the totals for the month. I have what my wow goal is in order to make my wow goal. And then I have, whoops, wrong way. I'm not very good at this. And then I have my Royal Crown goal. That's my Royal Crown goal for the trip. But then on the backside, that's where I have my hit list. These are the people that I'm working to step up to manager. These are all the DIQs in the org, so they're on my radar. And then I set my goals. So a lot of times, you know, my goal is always to beat last year, but we've been trending over 100% growth over last year for since April or more. I mean, last month we were like 240 something % growth. So, so it kind of skewed my goals. So when I set goals, I look at the past year's sales, or if you've had if you've stepped up a level, if you just stepped up to director, you want to look at 12.5 or whatever your threshold is. If you're going for the car, that's where you can be, your baseline goal is. But if you have 2019 to compare it to that. But you also need to look at the trends, right? So how are you trending? Are you trending just $1 over? Or are you trending more like 20% over? And so that's where it's handy. And so I have right here in my drawers, this is from July, right? And then this is from June. So I have them all here so I can go back and reference them when I start questioning, like, oh, what was it? And so I can kind of look at it and see who I was working with and all of that. And I like to keep on these bright note cards because then they're easy for me to find quickly. And I keep them right in a drawer right here to my right. So I always know where they are and I can get to them really quickly. And that's what's really important too, is not only to have those goals defined, but to also write them down and keep them someplace front of mind. So if you want to turn it into your screensaver on your phone, awesome. If you want to make it the wallpaper on your laptop, super. Whatever, a Post-it note. It doesn't have to be technical. It could be a Post-it note, you know? And so just to kind of bring you back every morning, like, what is it that I'm working on? So I have those broken down into the month. I have goals projected out for the year, especially trending on the growth that we're having. And then the week, right? You saw I broke it down into weeks, but also as far as for the day, I don't necessarily have a sales goal for that day. But I have my me goal. Like, what am I doing this day to go towards these numbers? Am I reaching out to the people on that list on the back? Am I working on my own personal business? Am I working on my own personal recruits? Am I reaching out to past consultants? What am I doing? Am I engaging inactive people? You know, so every day I have that list of things, then that's my goals for that day. So it's important to kind of know where you want to go and make that roadmap to get there. And if that's something that you struggle with because it's not something that comes naturally a lot of times, and maybe even it does come naturally, you're kind of in this new role. And so you might just kind of want to run those ideas by somebody. So talk to your director, talk to any of the directors, honestly, and anybody would be happy to help you. So that's number one. Oh, and I'm doing Lydia's part. She messaged me. She had to hop off. So I got Lydia's part too. See, all over this.
I'll just give you a break in talking. That's all.
Well, we can just go rotate. It's fine.
Sure, whatever you want to do.
Okay, so number 2 is plan ahead. Plot out the small jobs you need to accomplish in order to reach your long-term goals and keep track of your progress. So it's really easy to think, okay, what I want long-term is to have enough money to put my kids through college without them having student loans, and then maybe a little bit sooner, okay, I want to go to Disney, and or I want to pay off my credit cards. The thing of it is if you're looking at those long-term goals and you don't have a way to track that you're getting there, they are so far off that if you're anything like me, you have a tendency to put that stuff off and not get it done. So, and the worst thing about that is you can convince yourself that you're busy and you're just busy being busy is all you're doing. You're not really accomplishing anything. So you need to make a list every day. And I don't always get done everything that's on my list, but at least I can look at it and know that it's there. And when I do get stuff done, it makes me feel good. And when I don't get stuff done, I have something to start with the next day. So I don't think, oh, well, I did all this. I'm good. I'm done, And it's like in weekly goals and monthly goals, a lot of it is what Ellen talked about, but in smaller steps so that there's things you can actually check off and say, yes, that needed to get done. I did it. Go me, and then move on to the next one. And I don't do them in order. Sometimes the things that I didn't think I would get done in a day just happen to get done because of the way things work. And something I thought would be really simple to just knock out of the park first thing in the morning did not happen, but it's still there for the next day. So it's not going to go anywhere till you get it done. But it's just really important to keep, and it makes you feel like you're getting somewhere when you keep track of it and can check it off. So that's just, I love to check stuff off lists.
Me too. Sometimes I put bogus things like make my bed, get out of bed. Like that's a win some days.
I do that too. I write stuff
Same.
down that I know it's just going to be super
Gonna
easy,
happen.
just
Yeah.
so I can check it off. Or
Go to my office. Check.
Yeah. I've done stuff before and I'm like, oh, it's not on my list. So I write it down so I can check it off.
Do that too. So I could be like, no, listen, even though I didn't get these things and I got this.
over here. I
Which
didn't
is
know I was
really
gonna,
good.
I did not know I was going to have to do this over here, and I did it, and I got it done, so it counts.
Gold star for me. Gold star.
Yes. Okay, the next one is fight paper clutter. All right. Put it away or throw it away. All right. You know, you can make a pile of file stuff, but honestly, in today's world, it's in your system. It's on Tupperware system. It's in the Facebook group. It's there. You don't need to keep it. All right. And so I'm telling you, I toss. The only thing I keep are sentimental things, pictures, and things like that. But if it's a piece of paper that's in my system that I could print again if I needed to, it goes, right? And so, I mean, obviously there are some things that need to be laying out in front of you, your goals, all right? And your calendar, you should have that in front of you, but move it or lose it.
I'm going to throw this out there just because you all know her. Nancy has been cleaning out her office and her garage since she's been home a lot. And she called me one day and she was surrounded by papers from 1992. And she goes, it's interesting, but I have no idea why I still have it. I was like, yeah, you should probably get rid of that. But,
you know, one of the things I have to tell you that I appreciated about my parents is they were not pack rats. They no. The only thing that my daddy had that we had to move, get rid of, whatever you want to throw it away, were old sermons, a filing case of old sermons in the garage. And we enjoyed going through that because it was his handwriting. Everybody wanted one. It was like, that was totally different than tons and tons and tons of stuff that we had to file through in order to find what we needed to find, you know, after his passing, and of course, moving my mother in. And so everything you do like that, somebody's got to clean it up someday. Yeah. So you do that now, okay?
And they don't want it.
No, they don't want it. They don't want it. So yes, we've been shredding business papers because after so long you can get rid of them, and shredding. We paid shredders to come out. So yes, don't wait. I mean, we had to keep those because of taxes, but I'm just telling you, you know, when you can move it out.
So as a mom of 5 kids, it's not always business stuff that you hang on to that nobody needs, okay? I mean, my kids thought that I should save everything that came home that they drew or colored or got. And so I got to the point where we had a dining room wall, and it was not classy, but it worked. I taped everything they wanted to keep on the dining room wall. At the end of the month, we took pictures. Everybody got a picture, and I got to throw it all away. I was like, here, you have it forever. It's gone.
Where's the pictures now?
The kids have them.
Oh, okay.
I don't need them.
All right, Ellen, number 4.
All right, keep a daily to-do list, ordering tasks according to their importance. Concentrate on completing high priority tasks and update your list regularly. So I go back and forth with my systems. You can figure out what system works for you. When I get bored with the system and I'm not really sticking to it, that's when I change it up and I go to something else. So I'll go from my planner to a notebook. I'm on a notebook right now. And so you see there's my to-do list, right? I don't necessarily prioritize them. Occasionally I might put a star by it or highlight it or something just to make sure that I like, this has to get done today. But this is my brain dump. I mean, this is all my notes from conversations I had today. Even these are notes that I took while we were talking on this call. And so I keep these notebooks and then I can go back and kind of look at different thoughts that I was having as people were talking, because sometimes I'm not necessarily taking notes on what people are saying, but it, just like Christy, it triggers something. I'm like, oh, I have an idea because of something somebody said and it triggered something in me. So so make sure you keep that daily to-do list, and it's helpful to do it the night before. Now, is your list going to be complete the night before? No. But before bed, go ahead and get all that stuff swimming around in your brain going, oh, I have to call the pediatrician's office tomorrow. I need their vaccination records. I have to do this, or, you know, it needs to be done. I have to fill out the paperwork for the school and commit to whatever, you know, and just make sure that you get that stuff off your mind and get it down on paper so you don't have to think about it anymore. It's not going to lay awake at night going, oh, I need to make sure I do this. It's all right there. And then the next morning you pick it up because more things are going to come to your mind. Like make your bed and put your clothes down the laundry chute or whatever, just to make you feel like you've accomplished stuff. All right.
Don't put your clothes down the laundry
Don't
chute.
put your clothes down the laundry chute. Bad.
Our laundry chute is over the railing, and usually somebody's walking by just the right time. It's not a good thing.
Well, we actually have a laundry chute. We're not going to hit
Hold
anybody.
that full of sheets when it hits from the top floor, makes a really loud noise and gets
Bam.
everybody's attention. It's like fell down the stairs.
All right, you're next.
Okay, keep a date book and keep it current and readable. These materials are the keys to organizing your time. Be sure you can refer to them as complete, reliable sources. I have to keep a written date book. I've got a calendar on my phone. It's on the computer. Half the time I can't see what's on the phone, or by the time I blow it up, I've missed it. The one on the computer I forget to look at, honestly. But the date book I look at and write down everything. Really organize people, color coordinate it into one color is personal stuff, one color is business stuff. I don't have that, but that's a great thing if you can do it, but write it down. Doctor's appointments, Zoom calls, stuff like that, because when something happens and you think, oh, well, I don't need to write that down, I'll remember it. Yeah. All that's going to happen then is you're going to get to that day and this is what's going to happen, or this is what happens to me. I have something to do today at 10 o'clock. I wish I could remember what it was.
Yes.
And you look at the book and you're like, I don't know why I didn't write it down. Maybe it wasn't important. And then at 10:15, somebody calls and goes, are you meeting me or what? You know, and you're like, oh, that was it. So the date book is really important. I have to, honestly, I have one that has my grandkids' birthdays in it because I am infamous for getting to like 2 days before and going, oh, was that child born on the 17th or the 16th? I'm a horrible grandmother. But, you know, if it's written down, I don't have to feel that way. I can go, oh, I knew that. I was already there. But yeah, the business stuff is very important. And Zoom calls, now Zoom calls are like incredibly important as far as putting them in there, because right now they're just kind of everywhere. And most of them for a champion are like at 8 o'clock, which is great. But some of the other ones, like my team meetings and stuff like that, they change depending on when people can be on them. So I need to write them down so I don't think that, you know, my Zoom call for my team is at 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon and it was really 11 o'clock Saturday morning this week. So, yeah.
All right. And so I agree with the date book thing. That needs to be, I hope you put that down and start it, because everybody needs a schedule. You can't, you know, whatever happens, whatever gets planned happens. If you don't write it down and put it on a schedule, it's not going to happen. All right. Odds are. All right. And then breaking your biggest projects into small manageable steps. And, you know, this is something that in reading one of our books, this one, Power of Positive Thinking, I love the whole analogy of the telescope and the microscope. And the telescope is where you're going. And so it's a far out goal. And the microscope is right here. This is what I'm doing right now to get there. All right. And so what that reminds me of is breaking down in bite-sized pieces, because you know where you're going, but you got to break it down and use the microscope to bring it down to bite-sized pieces. And we've all heard it a million times. How to eat an elephant one bite at a time. How do you make a big goal? One party at a time, one recruit at a time. How do you get 1,000 people on your team? And you're like, 1,000 people? Well, we have 3,000 champions working right now. And so how are you going to get 100 people on your team? When I was working, back then they called us managers all the way up to the word director didn't come out until breakthrough program. But when I was working and building my team and organization, my goal was to have 100. I wanted 100. And I want to tell you why I wanted 100. Because I did not want to have somebody call me and say, I'm pregnant, and me think, oh my God, I'm going to lose my car. I didn't want somebody to call me and say, hey, my husband and I have made a decision that he's going to, we're going to move. And then instead of me being able to be happy for them and all excited because they're having a dream come true, I had to worry about how am I going to keep my car. And so I figured out that if I had 100 people on my team and somebody called, I could be excited about their success or their goal or their whatever, they're having a baby or whatever the fact might be. Or if somebody got sick, it didn't destroy my business because I had 100 people on my team. And so I just want you to realize that the value that a large team number gives to your business, because you don't really have to ever worry about one person, best fortune or bad fortune, ruining or sabotaging your business. And so think about what would be comfortable for you right now. Now I will tell you again, 100 people on your team, that is a telescope. Pull it down to a microscope. And how about 10? How about 15? Then 20, then 25, and always, and sometimes you'll get to 20 and you jump back to 10 because people stop or they quit or they get a wild hair up their butt, and you got to work back up to the 20, to the 15. So you're at the 20, and it's okay. It's a numbers game, because eventually you're not going to be looking at, trying to get back up to 20. You'll be looking at trying to get back up to 80. And then the next time going to 60 and getting back up to 75. And then you hit 100, then you're at 20, and it's okay. It's a numbers game, but just know the value you have in large team is going to bring you so much comfort and such a stress relief for you. So build the numbers, bring them all in and let God sort them out. That's what I always said, and that you throw enough shit against the wall, something sticks. You've heard that before. That's exactly what you do with recruiting. You bring them all in and let God sort them out. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting, and you help every single person. You build every single person. You absolutely send the birthday card to every single person. One of the analogies I've always loved is only brush the teeth you want to keep. Well, only talk to the consultants you want to keep. And that's all you have to do. Just talk to the ones you want. Don't talk to the ones you don't want, because they'll go away just like those teeth, okay, when you don't brush them. I'm serious. And it's just, there's so many benefits to having big goals broken into little pieces and little items. And so that is, break it down. Big dreams, telescope. Break it down, microscope. All right. And then 7, back to Ellen, right? Ellen's turn. Ellen.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry. Keep yourself organized by scheduling a regular time to straighten, file, update, and throw away and prioritize. So that is something, I definitely, Sunday night, I definitely do that. I try to go through my office, make sure that it's nice, ready to go. Everything that I need is right there, ready to go to get my week started. I will go through, I'll even make sure I straighten up the bedroom. So then that way, when I wake up in the morning, I'm looking at that. And it's the first thing, whenever I'm getting ready to clean or straighten anything, I always start with the bedroom, because then if I lose steam, my bedroom's still clean at the end of the day. I go in and I don't feel like, oh my God, I did all this work today and I have nothing to show for it. Right. So I start in the bedroom. But it makes a difference to me mentally when I wake up in that space and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And then I walk into my office and I already have my desk is set, ready to go for the day, and I'm ready to go. And so it's important to kind of go through and just file and put stuff away that doesn't need your attention right now, and keep things in a hot zone, like that I call it prime real estate in my office or even in my kitchen with my products and stuff. But I call it prime real estate. The prime real estate is where I'm sitting. It's this drawer right here that has my goals at my fingertips. It also has You know, our book club book is in there, you know, and the Power Positive book is right there, because those are the two books that I'm concentrating on right now. And my little notebook right here, it's right here, ready to go. And so at the end of the day, I just pop it right in that drawer. So in the morning, I know I open that drawer and I pull it right back out and we're good to go. Or sometimes I leave it sitting out just so it's like right here beside where I'm going to be for the day. But it makes a huge difference for that mental clutter if you take that time every week. And sometimes it might be a couple times a week, depending upon how hectic life is for you right then, or whatever's going on, to do that. Pam, do you want me to finish this last part? Okay, it just says pick one that you're going to commit to for the next month, revise the list, and add others as they seem relevant to you. Remember that being organized is not the same as being neat. All right, so don't be hung up on that it has to be everything in its place or anything like that. You can be organized and everything's not put away every single night. And so let's see here, and do enough to be more efficient, not perfect. And you're going for progress, not perfection. And I think that in this business, a lot of times that's where people get hung up. They're going for perfection and they don't want to take action until they have perfected whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish, when really you're just going for progress. And I've progressed to this, right? I was not always this. I didn't have an office. I didn't have a desk. I didn't have a drawer. I had a kitchen table that every night I packed everything up and I moved it to another room or stacked it somewhere aside so that we could have family dinner. And so do not beat yourself up if you don't have a space like that, because I built this organization without that space. This is new to me. Okay. So it can be done. You just have to be very, choosy about the things that you are going to carry around with you. When we first started this COVID thing and I got kicked out of my office by somebody, I'm carrying my stuff around in a box. And I was like, at first it was a stack and I'm like a school kid walking around my books in my arms every day. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Then I got a nice, cute little box and I was like, okay, I've got my box. And so when I came into the office, I bring my box in, I set it down and I get to work. Right. But you have to do whatever you have to do in order to make it work. So when the kids were little, it was a binder. I carried that binder, a diaper bag, binder, baby, out the door, diaper bag, binder, baby, out the door, all the time. So just make it work with whatever you have.
Okay, you know what? And I agree with that. Somebody used to work on her phone like this for putting in orders and everything. She did it on her phone like this phone. And it wasn't even a great phone.
Lots of people do that. The millennials do that. They do that. They operate from their phone.
I don't think I'm really a millennial.
No, but you may do.
But there's so many screens that are so good for you to see when you become a director, that it's really good to have either an iPad or a laptop of some type. Mm-hmm. And honestly, she had a laptop and it was locked. She couldn't get in it. Kind of hard to use. But it was also a dinosaur. And she, I encouraged her to upgrade and invest in herself and into her business tools. And I really want to encourage you that, it's a tax write-off.
Yeah.
To get yourself business supplies like that. And whether it's a good phone or an iPad or a small laptop, and some of that stuff is not expensive. Now, obviously what I like is expensive, but
you can get a Chromebook for like $200. I mean, It doesn't have to be, it just needs to be faster. That will help as far as the processing speed and things like that. And that's the most important part. It doesn't matter the name on it. It doesn't matter, as long as it's got a good operating system, you're good to go.
Right.
There was honestly, when I started using the laptop, there were screens that I did not even know existed because I couldn't see them on my phone. And I got on my phone, did what I had to do and got off. I wasn't going to explore the Tupperware website on my phone. It wasn't going to, and people would go, well, did you look at this screen? And I'd be like, no.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Either that or she changed the subject.
Yeah.
She's real good at that.
Yeah. So I'm not going to make you guys say what you use, but I want to tell you that I really encourage you to invest in yourself so that you do have the equipment, everything from the light, the little light for $20 that hold your phone, that makes it look a little more professional when you're doing a Facebook party or your bingos or a raffle or something like that, to a laptop or something larger so you can see all the screens and you can really dig in and build your team. And I will tell you, when she had the laptop, it was so funny because, over and over and over again, she never, she'd use her phone and be done. And when she got the laptop, all I'd see is her face in her laptop. I'm like, what the heck are you doing now? Because
She told me, she's like a college kid. She just always has her head in the laptop. You remember telling me that one day.
There was so much new stuff.
What the heck did you do before? It was like, and honestly, I mean, I hate to toot my own horn because it was my idea that she upgrade her system, but it really made a big difference in her business when she could communicate and work better by communicating on a screen she could see and keep track of things and, it's just the whole idea was just crazy, the difference that it's made in her business.
Yeah.
So, and yes, that was my horn I was tooting.
Yeah. That's
I
okay.
completely agree with you. I mean, when there was at one point we had the internet company out here because our internet was so slow, and he ran the test and he's like, it's your laptop. And I'm like, what? Like, my laptop was only like, I don't know, I'd only had it like 2 or 3 years. And I was like, no, I'm like, this isn't that old. I'm like, I usually worked them until they just kind of stopped working altogether. And he's like, yeah, no. He's like, your uploading speed is fine. Your downloading speed is awful. And I'm like, really? And I was like, babe, we need a new laptop. And that's what I got for Christmas.
Yeah, there you go. Well, tonight's call was great, guys. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, thank you.
You get some good takeaways tonight? You got to jump into Jenny, Pam, and Ellen's brain.
That's scary.
Okay.
So my takeaway is, okay, so we kind of were sharing offices for a while as well. And then Chris went back, and then he's been out of town, and then, the COVID happened. And so he's back home until the 10th. So now he's in my office, and definitely the organization and having a spot. And right now this is kind of my spot, and Chris makes fun of me because even when I had my Tupperware office downstairs, which it's still down there, and all my Tupperware is down there and all my stuff, but I think it's a lot of the stuff like you guys were talking about, Pam, like the papers and all the stuff that I've saved from all like the workshops and the papers. And then I kind of go down there and go through them all, and I'm like finding stuff, like if I need something to talk about with my team or something like that. But you're right. Why am I hanging on to all that kind of stuff? But when Jenny was talking also about the saving all those things, I have like a box of Addison stuff for like the last 3 years, from time for 2 to preschool, and I can't throw like any of it out. Like, Jenny, you're awesome, because I know you had 5. Okay, so I've got the one that I save everything. I'm saving everything.
I'm going to tell you,
but I am getting better.
they don't want it.
She
They
won't.
don't want it. Like,
Well,
when
I planned for it. It's going to be hung up. It was supposed to be, for her graduation, preschool graduation, that didn't happen. I was like hanging all up on those little clips, and I also love the party plan. So anyway, I do have something I'm going to do with it. It's also going to be graduation. But anyway, but the organization and having a little less, I guess I definitely need to get back to my date book, because you guys, I'm not going to lie, I'm being quite honest with you that I have not had my date book out in probably 5 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And not that I'm not doing anything, like I'm using my phone, but I do love my date book. And I think I need to get back to that, because right now my phone, like you said, you can look at it and I can, see what I'm doing organizing, but for some reason, I think I personally need to get back to my book. I like that old school book where I can write down my stuff and set my goals that I need to do, and plan ahead. I need to write in there. And that's one thing I used to do, off to the side there in the Tupperware book, like all the stuff you're going to do this month and have your goals right there. I've had my phone, but I haven't had that. So thank you for that reminder. And tomorrow I'm going to go to my office and I'm going to get my book and bring it up to my now office, which is my dining room table, and I'm going to write it down. So thank you for that reminder.
It's hard to put stuff in your phone when you're on your phone. Like if somebody wants to date something or meet you somewhere and you need to put something down, it's hard to do it while you're on the phone to go to that calendar and put it in there. And there are so many times when I get off the phone and something else happens right away and I forget to go put it in there.
So like gum wrappers with names and numbers.
Right. I have like little papers
everywhere.
Chris sees my stuff and Chris is like, what are you doing? He's like, you need to be a little more organized. I have like this little notes and stacks of stuff. And he's like, you're driving me crazy. He's like, you need to like write this in a book or do something. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's true.
Well, what I found too is when all this we slowed down and everything kind of shut down, but we were still working, I got away from my date book because I didn't feel like I needed it in writing right there. So my phone was enough. But now, like, I mean, these past 2 weeks with the kids now back and the sports and band and all this other stuff, I'm just like, oh my goodness, like I forgot all about this. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And nobody's riding a bus this year. And so I'm like going to be like here, there, and everywhere. And so I just kind of have to get used to that again and make sure that I'm keeping on top of that stuff and that my business doesn't slide through the cracks, because that's usually a lot of times the thing that you don't notice right away, and then when you notice, you're like, oh crap, I got to pull this back together. And so it's important to have that stuff written down for sure.
All right. Anybody else want to share a takeaway tonight?
Oh, we can't hear
you. I like the big projects, like putting them under that microscope, just making them smaller to get to the big, to get the big things accomplished.
Yes.
And definitely the paper clutter. I mean, I love, printing it out. That way I always have it. But like you said, it's always going to be there somewhere. So don't worry about that. But yeah. And just to get to learn how to connect things to, like, that are on my phone to my iPad, to my laptop, or, or on my regular house top. That would be a great thing. But yeah, to try to stay organized. I've got, things in this place, that place, and everywhere. But yeah, and I have to search for it. So yeah, the paper clutter definitely, and the organization.
Yeah.
So it'd be great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing I love about Apple is my laptop and my phone and my iPad all talk. And everything is in everything. So no matter what I go to pick up, and if I do something on my laptop and I process a little more, and then I go to my iPad, I'm back to where I finished on my phone. So I'm not starting over again. It keeps updates it, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. Jenny likes that now too.
Yeah, Amanda was trying to say something, but I think she was muted when she was.
Okay, Amanda.
Can't hear you. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can.
Oh, you can? Okay, well, I was just going to say that I need all 7 of these because my situation recently changed. So I need to look at my day a little different. Friday I was laid off. So now I'm in a different situation than I was a week ago. So I need to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do with my time.
Yes.
Family, or my business, or whatever, it's just a whole different situation now. So I
know that Carrie, you also have quit your other job, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, I would highly recommend you girls to take your calendar and fill it up. Literally from, putting in there the time when you're going to make contacts, when you're going to clean the office clutter, when you're going to literally, and you don't take your prime time and clean office clutter. Okay. That needs to be like non-prime time when you couldn't be making contacts with people because it's either too early or too late. And really organize your life and, just have this unbelievable determination that you will do whatever it takes and be willing to do that. Be willing to give up you know, and as a young mom, I wanted to have quality time with my children. So what I gave up was stupid time on TV that was self-centered. I gave up stupid time. Yeah, today it would be watching videos on your phone or scrolling Facebook that really didn't give you, wasn't going to build my business, and it certainly wasn't going to build my children. And so sit there and make yourself rules of what you will not do anymore because of who you're going to be and where you're going and the team you're going to have. And you can give yourself, you know, Friday night, date night with your husband and things like that. That's building a relationship that's very important. But don't give yourself time to waste. That is foolish and it costs you money. Okay. And so one of the things I like to do that really motivated me was I took the parties that I had and I divided it by the hours that it took me to do it and figure it all out, and figured out that I was making something like, you know, $34 an hour or something like that. I remember doing this, and it was like 34 bucks an hour I actually made when I was actually working and doing a party, and from the beginning to the end, the whole bit. And then I decided that every time I spent an hour watching a show, that cost me $34. Did I really want to do that? Okay. And so every sitcom that I, you know, found myself sitting there and wasting time on, I would literally in my head charge myself 34 bucks. And it really does discipline you to not do that. And so it doesn't mean that I'm going to go make 34 bucks if I just walk away and work on my phone, but it's going to get me closer to 34 bucks than it is watching that sitcom that I don't need to watch. And so prioritize your time. Your first, absolutely first job is the mom. And whatever that takes is very important. And I used to tell Ellen all the time when the kids were little, you work hard and you play hard. And when you work hard, you are at work and you have situations set up so that you can be 100% at work and get this job done. And so in other words, wherever the kids are, you've prearranged it. Either they're watching their favorite movie, they're coloring pictures and have to check in with you in 15 minutes, you know, and when the younger they are, it has to be shorter time spots. And when and then when you play hard, you get on the floor. You get on the floor. You put on the tutu and dance with her. You know, you do 100% mommy. You work hard, you play hard, and that's what's going to put your kids through college, is when you learn to discipline you and not let life rob you of the opportunity that you have been given to have unconditional, you know, unlimited monies, literally, and no stress in your family. I mean, seriously, out of all those years of growing my business, I dreamed of having financial freedom. Oh, look at that precious little girl. And that financial freedom today is so sweet. And I want to encourage you guys, it's just around the corner. You can't let go now. Don't let go. It's just around the corner. Financial freedom, double, triple that money you were making, Carrie. Double and triple the money you were making, Amanda. And Mary, just explode your business. Make so much money, your husband says, what are we going to do with it now? You know, let's put windows in the house. That's our next project. Putting windows in. So literally, I mean, Ellen knows the sweet reward of the financial gain that Tupperware has brought to her today. And I want you all to feel that. Okay? All right, guys. Appreciate you so much. I love our Monday nights. Just you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I needed this today. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Pam.
guys.